Hey everybody, how's it going? Well, it's drying off after the hurricane blew through, so I'm taking a moment and gonna go through and explain. I had a couple of questions related to why I picked 2,4-D as my herbicide for my lily pads in the pond, and how I came to that conclusion. And first thing, you're staring at it on the screen. This how to identify and control water weeds and algae. Uh, I found this PDF when I was searching on Google. Was also using the Pond Boss forums. Been excellent help there as well. But this had a lot of information. I'm going to skip to page 44. And this talks about how to identify it. If you notice, it's got a yellow, or excuse me, not yellow, white flower that goes with it. If it's yellow, it's called spatterdock or yellow cow lily. All right. Now, this PDF, as you can see up here, it's 132 pages. There's a lot of information in it. It'll help you calculate how much herbicide you need and everything else. So there's a tremendous amount of information in it. I also wanted to point out Texas A&M's website. If you pull it up, I can look at it, how to control water lily. And they've actually gone through and rated it. So they've got 2,4-D as excellent. Glyphosate or Roundup is rated as good. You have fluoridone rated as excellent. And I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Not even going to try it. Many of the others, fluoridone and several of the others, are fairly expensive. So that pretty much narrowed it down to 2,4-D or glyphosate for me. And 2,4-D was just cheaper. I have easier access to it, so that's why I picked it. All right, so that's kind of piece number one. Just simply put, how I came about it and made that decision is I just researched it, found out what type of plants you have, and that's why I selected it. Now, the other thing about glyphosate or Roundup is it will not kill plants submerged under the water. All right, it's not rated for that. So that was another reason why I didn't select it. I will say glyphosate, aka Roundup, if it is not the same as what you buy at the local hardware store. If you check the stuff at the local hardware store, it does not say on its label that it's rated for aquatic use. All right. The reason being, or at least what has been explained to me, is that some of the regular Roundup you buy at the store, it's glyphosate, but some of the chemicals used in it or the way it's formulated is toxic to fish. So you can get a fish kill if you spray it into your water trying to treat aquatic plants. Maybe if you're trying to treat cattails and things like that right around the edge, you're probably not going to get much because you're not going to get very much overspray into the water and it'll dilute very well. But if you're spraying it in the water, trying to kill things in the water, several people have stated they've had fish kills related to that. So make sure it's labeled as aquatic. So those were two reasons why I went with the 2,4-D. All right, and that's really simply it. Just go through, look at the label rates and mixing instructions. I kind of talk about that in my other videos when I was out there spraying. But that's the basics. Now, I kind of found it interesting, and for those of you that's wanted to know how I came about it and where I searched for this information, I'll put these links down below as far as Texas A&M's website where you can search for your particular vegetation and what they recommend to control or methods of control. So I'll put that in the description below. But for those of you who want to stick around a little bit longer, I'm going to talk about how it works. So this is kind of the sciencey side. So 2,4-D, what I found is it's an Auxin-based herbicide. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. So basically what it does is it goes through and removes the growth regulator from the plant. So plants, just like everything else, have a regulator so that they're not going to go through and grow too fast or grow incorrectly. So they've got this hormone, and it's called transcriptional repressor, and that is the growth regulator. It keeps it from growing too fast and growing too tall and outgrowing its nutrients. So 2,4-D basically removes that, so it allows it to grow much faster and effectively uncontrolled. When it does this, I've got 2,3-D. Oh, I'll put that in. But 2,4-D removes that repressor and causes massive unregulated growth of the plant. All right, this causes the plant to expend a lot of energy. It's growing really fast. All right, so it's growing really fast, uncontrolled. So that's why you see some plants, they grow in a very strange shape. Simply put, they'll grow too fast in some spots and they can't support the weight of the plant up top, so they'll literally bend over. This rapid growth causes a lot of free radicals to be produced. And to remove the free radicals, that's going to be another intensive energy use of the plant. So the plant has to go in and remove these free radicals. And in doing so, that's another very energy intensive thing for the plant to do. All right. Ethylene production goes up also as a result of the 2,4-D spray. And again, same thing. That's going to produce a tremendous amount of free radicals as well. And again, we're going through a lot of rapid growth, so it's expending a tremendous amount of energy there. And then it's also expending a tremendous amount of energy cleaning up the free radicals produced during that rapid growth. All right. And the other thing, see right here, it's again, I can't pronounce that. It's a type of acid that is produced causing photosynthesis. It triggers the plant to stop producing that. So the plant's not taking in energy. It's not eating. So high energy burn from growing rapidly, uncontrolled. High energy burn removing all of the free radicals due to side effects of that. And it's not taking in energy. The plant literally grows itself to death, but it's not just the growth. It's removing the free radicals as well. So it literally expends all of the energy it has and dies off as a result, just starving itself to death. And there's a very good video on this. Again, I'll put this information in the link below. Now, what I found out about glyphosate or Roundup is it kills in a different method. So both of these are systemic herbicides, so they spread throughout the plant. But Roundup actually goes in and it bonds to, let me clarify, it attacks the plant's secondary metabolic system. So it pulls minerals away from the plant's enzymes, and that forces the plant to shut down key functions. So it's going to pull magnesium, manganese, copper, zinc, and other minerals from the plant that are crucial to the plant being able to function, process nutrients, process energy, things like that. So it weakens the plant. But what actually kills the plant is it effectively goes in and shuts down the plant's immune system. And the way this works is Roundup itself won't kill a plant. But what happens is it essentially destroys the plant's immune system so that a pathogen can come in and kill the plant off because the plant simply cannot fight it off. So it was a very interesting method for Roundup to actually go through and kill a plant. Again, there's another YouTube video where a gentleman explains it in more detail, and he knows a lot more about it than I ever will. But I found it very interesting how it goes through and actually kills the plant and attacks it. And even though these are two herbicides that will kill many aquatic plants, they attack them in different ways. So this explains why Roundup doesn't work very well for floating vegetation. I've got coontail in my pond, and it's not very effective at killing that because it floats. There's no root system and things like that for it to go in and attack as well. And again, what I found out is that Roundup doesn't really attack the roots. What it does is the plant distributes the Roundup into the soil system, glyphosate into the soil around the roots, and it kills many of the beneficial bacteria and allows the pathogens, the bad stuff, to take over around the roots and go in and kill the plant. So a very interesting method of going through and killing the plant off. Again, excellent video to go through and watch where the gentleman explains this in more detail. But just wanted to go through and mention how I came about making my decision. And that's because 2,4-D was able to kill emerged plants or plants underneath the water surface, as well as those on top of it. So thanks for listening. You have a good one.